All right, seeing a conspiracy theory float online that the World Economic Forum and Gary Gensler are in cahoots with Sam Bankman-Fried to fill in the blanks. I mean, I don't know exactly what people are saying, but they're complicit in whatever is going on with the FTX debacle. And look, it's not the only theory that I see going out there. This conspiracy theories about Gary Gensler's relationship and the neoliberals, and World Economic Forum, IMF, World Bank, all these guys being complicit, right? The U.S. government's trying to take it down, deep state being complicit. So look, let's not rush to judgment in either way. But politics, government, there are so many times that people get the wrong impression about how things work. They get impressions that are just not true, or they're misunderstanding some of the relationships between people, and you just don't know how the government works, how any of these things work. So my answer is not, no, that's wrong. Strange things happen. I worked in Congress. Truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. And the stories I could tell you about Congress, oh my God, do you think I was just making things up? Well, and on that note, and the lies that people hear about Congress that they think are true. I mean, I worked in Congress in my 20s, and I worked in government. Now I work in government, it's a day job. So it's really interesting because I get to see what people report out about what's going on. When I know the truth, I know what's actually happening. I don't know the truth about, that doesn't mean I know the truth about everything that's going on in Congress ever, or right now, everything that goes on in government ever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are times where I know the truth of the matter simply because of the work that I'm doing. I have firsthand knowledge, and then seeing what gets reported out, and you're just like, what? Where did that come from? That's fantasy. It's total fantasy. Happens all the time. And so I don't know, maybe that's why I'm so blasé about a lot of this stuff, because it's like, I've just seen so many different takes on something that have been so wrong, but people think it's so right, that I don't even think about it anymore. It's not worth getting frustrated about. I'm not saying that that's what's happening here. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. The point is, we don't know. And so if you're trying to put things together based on, a tweet or some superficial relationships, a picture that you saw, or a meeting that somebody took, and all these things, I mean, I wouldn't say dismiss it and disregard it, but your first reaction should not be deep state conspiracy. Gensler and SBF, they were in cahoots, and Gensler was trying to, do all this stuff for SBF, and they're so corrupt and all this stuff. We don't know. It could turn out to be that way, but that would not be my first. That should not be your first. Your first conclusion. I mean, I know what people say about the government agency that I work for. I don't know where people get this stuff. And I'm not just talking about stuff in the news and stuff that gets circulated online. I'm talking about members of Congress and their perception of what happened and how things happen, to the point where I'm not even sure that, I think the members probably even know better, but they're just trying to make hay for votes, money, and press, or just to be jerks, which happens too with Congress. I mean, I remember when I was in Congress, I still feel bad. It's like, I would send these letters off to the government agencies and requesting information about this, or advocating on behalf of a constituent. And at the time I thought I'm doing such a good job. I'm a congressional aide, I'm doing what my boss wants, I'm working for the member, working for the people. And now working as a civil servant in the government and getting these requests come in, now I think back and I'm like, in my 20s when I was working in Congress, I was like, I wish I had known all the extra work I was making for just some poor government official who's just trying to do his job. But I'm trying to do my job too. And so that's kind of how it works. That's how government works. U.S. Congress holds the regulators' feet to the fire. They hold the executive branch to the fire. The executive branch, knowing that, does its best to make sure that it's complying with the laws, the rules, the regulations, not just because it would be bad if they didn't, but because for a lot of people, that's their job, that's their duty, and they take it very, very, very seriously. My agency, for sure, from the top to the bottom, a lot of people who work for my agency take the job very seriously. The rules, the laws, the process, and everything that goes into it. And that's how it is at a lot of government agencies. So, it doesn't mean that's what it was with the SEC. Doesn't mean there can't be cahoots, conspiracies, and things like that. I wouldn't know, but neither would you. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not jump to any conclusions based on superficial evidence, but let's hope that at the end of the day, somebody gets down to, we get some truth and clarity about what happens. Not a story that you believe because some member of Congress said it or you read it in some outlet, but because it's the truth. And we deserve to know. Relax and enjoy the ride.